Welcome back, students. Here is an additional demo for how to create the join with the data from week 3 tutorial. So the first step is uploading the files. I'm going to demonstrate it only using 2 files. So first thing, I'm going to add the mesh blocks layer. So I'm going to add item from your computer, and I'm going to select the mesh block zip folder where the shapefile is stored. And remember, if you have similar name already in your ArcGIS Online account, then you need to change the name of the zip folder file. Okay, I'm going to stay with this title, mesh block Blacktown. Maybe we'll just call it demo. I'll give it a tag. And I'll make sure that it is published as a hosted layer. So in the meantime, the layer will be uploaded into my ArcGIS Online account. And if you want to ensure that, then you can go into the table of contents. That's why I recommend to have several tabs open, so you can view that the layer has been published into your ArcGIS Online account. Alright, so here we go. It has been published into ArcGIS Online account, and I can also see it if I open a new right click into the content tab, and I can see that there's a new layer that has been uploaded into my ArcGIS Online table of contents. The next step is uploading and publishing the Excel data, which is derived from the ABS table builder. So I'm going to follow the same process. There we go. We can see that the layer was published as a feature, hosted feature layer. So again, I'm going to select the Excel file. In this case, I'm going to use the H. So mesh blocks Blacktown _H D represent demo. And I'll just wait until it will go through some rendering. Once this has been done, it will show us the fields that are included. So here we go. We have mesh blocks Blacktown age _demo, and then I'll give it one tag, maybe age, and ensure to select the none add as a table, because we are not having any coordinates or addresses in this specific file. So I'm going to select this checkbox, and you can already see the different fields in that table. One field that we specifically going to use later will be the rate of over 65 years old, and I'm going to add this as an item to my ArcGIS Online account. This will take a little bit of time. I hope it won't take you a very long time, especially when not everyone are doing this together. And once this has been published into our ArcGIS Online account, we will have both required files to move to the next step. So just to ensure that everything happened, you can see the data item page. Okay, and if I go into here, I'll just share it publicly, and that will also overcome the issue of the error message that you've just seen, and I'll go into content, table of contents, and we'll see all the items that are required for the next step. Here we go. As I mentioned earlier, all items in ArcGIS Online content table appears in the order of uploading. So you can see the item that I've just shared, and I'm just going to share them publicly, which will be required for later stage. And the same applies for the mesh blocks. Here we go. And also for the Excel, just in case. And here we go. We have all the items as shared publicly. So that's the end of stage 1. Stage 2, what we want to do is open one of the layers, the base layer. We're going to use in this case the mesh block Blacktown demo hosted feature layer, and I will do it by right-click on that item and open it in a new tab in the browser. This will open the item page for that particular item. And what I will do next, I will open this in the map viewer classic. So just one click on open in map viewer classic, and that layer will be added into the map viewer. Just be careful when you do this not to open the other viewer. Okay. Once this has been done, I'm now ready to actually run the join. So I'm going into Analysis tab, and I'm going into Summarize Data. Within that, I will go into Join Feature Tool, and I'm going to select the target layer, which in this case it's our mesh block Blacktown demo. And the second thing that I need to do is to select the join layer, which in our case will be the age. So I'm going into choose analysis layer. When I do that, that trigger a new screen that is being redirected into our browser, and I'll need to change here the relevance. So instead of sort by relevance, I'm going to sort it by data modified, so I can see all the items that have recently been added to ArcGIS Online. And one of them is the mesh block Blacktown age demo. And I'm going to select that item. So now this has been selected. The last thing that I need to define is the parameters. So I'm going into choose the fields to match, and I'm going to ensure that in both cases I'm using the mesh block code that's from the target layer, and this one is from the join layer, and that's the mesh block code. This is the primary key we discussed earlier today in order to create the join. The last thing that I need to do, I'm not going to change any other parameters. I need to change the name of the output. This will also be saved as my final output from the join. So I'm going to just put an underscore and say join feature to mesh blocks Blacktown underscore demo, and then let's maybe add the word age, and I'm pretty happy with that, and I'm going to run the analysis. This is a little bit of a heavy computation process, and it may take some time. So I'm going to pause the recording, and it could take even a few minutes, depends how busy is actually the platform, or it could also be related to the bandwidth or any other internet issue. Alright, so it took about 2 minutes to do the computation in ArcGIS Online. And now we have a new layer with the join data. So let's just remove the mesh block breakdown demo layers. We'll just turn it off by unclicking the checkbox. And let's just look on the table of contents, which you can see here, or the table of attributes of all the fields that were appended as a result of the join. So the last step of this task is essentially just to map based on one particular field, which in our case will be the rate of over 65 years old elderly people. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on the change style, and instead of location I'm going to select the rate over 65. Alright, and I can change the different colors. It will give me something as a default, but I don't really like it, so I'm going to change that. It actually gave me a range, but in our case I want to use classification, so that means we're going to create 4 or 5 classes based on specific range. So I'm going to pick the classified data. I'm going to select the natural breaks. Be aware that there's different other method of classifications. I'm going to select 5 classes, and I'm also going to change the color ramp by selecting here the symbol, and we'll select maybe something kind of purple-ish, and I'm going to press and OK, and done. So now if you look on the legend, you can see that the more shaded purple is actually over 50% of elderly people over 65, whereas the light blue are between 0 to 5.4. The last thing that I want to do is to maybe change the base map, so it gives me so it blends better with the map. Okay, and if I like, I'm also able to filter the data. So to filter the data, I can just go here again, this little symbol here called filter, and I can just decide that just show me the rate over 65, that maybe it is greater than only greater than 25%, for example, and I can apply the filter. Once you do that, you see a lot of the mesh blocks are actually disappeared, and this is because I'm just now focusing on those that are higher than 25%, and they also have a shaded purple color. The last thing is essentially just to save the map. I'm going into Save As, and let's say we'll call it over 65 map in Blacktown. Give a tag and maybe some description. This map shows the over 65 rate in maybe clusters in Blacktown. And that concludes all the steps that are required for this tutorial. You can also then share the map publicly just by clicking on the share, and might give you some messages that some items needs to be updated. That's some of the layers, and the link, which you can send to me by email or anyone else, is actually provided here. So hopefully that is clear, Let me know how you go, and good luck. Thanks.